Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Topics with Mr. Javadi. Today I have Nicky Cutler from San Francisco, California, right?
Well, the company's based in San Francisco, but I'm
Uh,
actually from Los Angeles.
so you're from Los Angeles, but where do you live now?
Well, I live in Los Angeles. I'm from Baltimore originally.
Oh, I see, I see.
I did live in
Uh,
San Francisco for a few years while I was running the Union Square shop.
okay, and so the locations of the store and all that we'll get into, but
Yes.
let me just have you introduce yourself if you don't mind. Go ahead.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Nicky Cutler. I've been working for Goorin for 14 years now, so a long time. I've done probably 11 positions in 14 years. So I've seen a lot and of the different departments within Goorin, and I live in Los Angeles. My job currently is I'm a brand manager, but I'm also B2B manager. So I have a dual role between wholesale and social media, retail, um, customer D2C channel essentially.
Okay. Well, that's fabulous. How did you get to that job? That's an amazing job. Go ahead.
Thank you. Well, I mean, it's a lot of perseverance and a long journey. So I'll try to make it brief. I basically started in New York in Park Slope, Brooklyn, and I began as a merchant. I had experience. I had my own fashion brand a long time ago called DITC, and it was sold mostly clothing, but it entered into the hat game a little bit, and I found that I was just in love with the hat part of my business, and I wanted to pursue something a little bit more in that particular millinery field. And so Gorin Bros is it's always been known as Gorin Bros. They're about to change this to Gorin um, in within the month. They're doing a very big rebranding. So
Mm,
began as a merchant in Park Slope, so just a regular salesperson. But I had a lot of experience, and I pitched this idea where we would sell liability product all over the country in different festivals and art fairs and things like that. And so they took on the project, and we did that for a year. And then when I came back to the stores, I started being an assistant manager in Park Slope. Then I slowly wanted to gain more experience and I wanted to be closer to the headquarters. So I moved to San Francisco and I started running the little tiny Union Square shop on Geary Street. Um,
right.
it's probably as big as my room right now. It was
Mm,
tiny. Um, did that for 3 years, and then I moved to New Orleans, and I ran our number one store, which was really, really cool. That vibe in New Orleans is just perfect for hats in general, especially like classic fedoras and bowlers and flat caps, which I'm sure we'll get into a little bit later. Uh,
yeah. Yeah.
did that for a few years and then started running two of the shops in New Orleans. And then before you know it, I was running all of the shops in California and New Orleans. And then the pandemic hit, which honestly changed Gorin forever. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
and most places forever. But Gorin wildly was a very resilient company during pandemic and it became our best years yet. And we could talk about that too. But once I did that, I came back from pandemic very early on from other people, and I started running social media. I had no experience, but our owner of the company thought I understood the brand voice, understood the customer. And so I started running that channel and we started doing workshops. We slowly came back, started doing things that people could do from home, learn how to clean your hat, steam your hat, learn how to personalize your hat. Like, so we just started doing these workshops with four other employees. And then that slowly turned into me running social media, which turned into me moving on to doing marketing in our wholesale side, which is B2B. And then just recently, less than a year ago, we began a brand team and I joined the brand team. So I was basically doing two roles, which I still am now. It's like a dual role between B2B marketing and D2C marketing. So that's where I am.
Well, I tell you why I had the dramatic reaction I had on my face when you talked about pandemic changing Gorin. No, my by the way, a joke. My hat off to you. You guys are a great company.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pardon the pun, but
I
I was
gotcha.
looking, I was looking for sayings about hats, But anyway, the reason I had that reaction is because you guys had a store in Boulder, Colorado. Now
We did.
I'm a little bit north of Boulder, so uh, I got acquainted with your hats in Boulder at the store in Boulder on Pearl Street, and
Do you remember
unfortunately,
the owner? Do you remember Beth, the person that ran that shop? Do you remember the woman?
no, no, I
Okay.
don't think so. My wife might. My wife was more into the fashion things than I was, and actually, she's the one who purchased for me a red fedora hat, kind of a straw hat,
Yeah.
from that store. And I tell you, here's another pun, and I didn't plan this one. It was a head turner. I
There you
mean,
go.
it really was, and I got so many compliments from it. Not that I was fishing for it, but it just got crowd reaction, and I realized there was something special about the set. But anyway, that's why I had the reaction, because I got sad remembering that store closed.
Yeah.
And I think that it closed probably because of, I'm guessing, but probably because of the pandemic. It was around that time, because it did that to a lot of businesses, and so that's why I had the reaction I had. But you guys have moved on, and I'm so grateful that you continue to rock and roll on this. And you have so. Do you run a store in Los Angeles? Do you have a store in Los Angeles, or is it just?
No, I mean, basically, it was a choice to close. We had 32 stores at one point. I mean, we were on the road to, I remember when I first began the company and we were at a summit and they were like, we're on the road to 100 stores in the United States. And that was like the big theme of the summit. And when pandemic hit, it was just time for us to pivot into different things. And so we made the decision to close mostly every store. So it was more of something we decided to do, and it rested on the fact that we were changing and pivoting as a brand in general, and that was into more of the trucker scene. And I think it has always been a plan to potentially bring back stores, but in a new modernized way. And
I
so that
see.
can happen at any point in the future, but right now it's more or less like the old identity of the stores really didn't fit the modern look of where the company was going. So it had
I
to go.
I see. So part of it is the world of electronics, and what we are doing with the media, and so I mean the social media, and
Well, not
uh,
only that, but
yeah,
also our
yeah,
stores. If you've ever been to any um, beach boardwalk, you've probably seen the old time photos where people go in and they dress up in old clothing and they put on all the props, and that's mainly what our shops looked like. All of them very dynamic. You walk in and you're like in the old time world of hatting, and it's just a
yeah,
different experience now with the brand.
yeah, for sure, for sure. So we'll get into all that. I appreciate it. So when did Gorin Brothers hats begin? What year was it? Was it 1895, or when?
Yes, it was 1895 off a horse
Wow.
cart in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And what some people may not know is the great great grandfather of Ben Gorin is actually, sorry, my cat wants to join us. Is get down.
Oh, that's
Sorry, is Castle Gorin, which is what our logo is based off of. So his name is Castle. It's spelled Cassel, but that turned into the logo of the brand. And that was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania back in 1895. And he had a passion for millinery. That's where it all began.
And did you guys have at one time a factory back there in the East, or not really?
Um, we did not have a factory. We have a factory now. We have a
Uh,
factory called Bold Hat Makers, and that's in
okay.
Newark, New Jersey. And there was a
Okay.
guy
Yeah.
named
Yeah. I
Ruben we
read
used to
about.
work
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
It was his factory for all those years. It was the
Yeah. Yeah.
last North American cut and sew factory in all of the United States. And so we bought that once Ruben passed away.
I see. I see. Yeah. So that's what I saw when I Googled it. I saw something about New Jersey and the factory, and so I thought I'd ask you. So you still have that? It's in New Jersey.
Yes, we still have that, and
Uh,
we create hats there, and
uh,
those are all handmade in the United States of America, which is also not
that
easy to
that
come by these days.
that is just phenomenal. It's an American brand. I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that's great. so the next question I have, and sorry, I have to follow the script sometimes. I could wing it, but I rather rather follow it.
That's
So,
quite all right.
um, where did the Gorin Brothers hats? Let's see. Oh, this is the question that I have. I see now. I couldn't read my own handwriting.
That's all right.
Uh, the business side of it, was it always a business, hat business?
Yes, for the most part, the identity is rooted in hats. It's always been rooted in hats. There are times, like in the 1960s, we specialized in like sporting goods. It was a big ski time period of booming, and we reared off in that direction. We really produced sportswear and this line called Grenadier, and then also I have other things like throughout the I would say in the 2000s we did dabble in accessories. So here's socks, and then we did, and some of our retail partners still have some of this stuff, but this
Yeah,
is like essentially like our black sheep hoodie,
yeah.
like with the black sheep on the back. um and then I just brought a few things, and then
No,
some
that's awesome.
tiger, like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
hoodie, which is obviously rooted in animals and that experience, and then even like boxer shorts,
yeah,
freedom.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then one more I'll show you is the cock. So we do have experience in apparel, and we'll be coming out with more apparel eventually. So it really is trying to boom into a label, not just a hat company.
Not just hat company. Okay. Well, the one thing that I did want to mention is that hats, they've always been very, very special. And they've been a part of us for a long, long time. I mean, you remember it in like Western movies, and Elliot Ness movies. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I love that. That's great. So they've been a big part of our culture, part of our history, but it's been that way worldwide, I would say. And that just is phenomenal. I gotta get one of those. That's awesome. That's looking
So
great.
this one actually,
Yeah.
these two were created at our Austin store, and so they have a
Wow. Wow.
custom hat making division. Now they just closed, sadly. They're one of our last three shops, and so there's only two left now. There's one in North Beach, San Francisco, and then there's one in Dallas still. But the people that work there are experts in hat making, and they made these two hats for me just during South by Southwest
Yeah, no,
last year.
that's spectacular. Well, personally, I hope the stores come back because I just I get depressed when I see stores close.
I
But
understand.
I'm just that way. I mean, I see some place like dollar store or something close, and I just kind of get bummed out. But
Yeah, it's taken place a
yeah,
lot in these
yeah,
last
yeah.
few years, sadly.
But with you guys, I mean, you have such a special product. It's I just love to walk in there and look at them and so on. Okay, so let me go to my next question. Um, so
Before you go on real quick, I
yeah,
just want to a quick story is just like funny from
yeah,
what you just said is I
yeah,
would be working in Union Square, and it's a tiny shop, and it's right on the street level where people walk, and people would walk by all day, and they would be like, "It's a hat shop. It's a hat shop. Oh my God, it's a hat shop." So people just love to look at hats. It's something that I guess you just don't see. And
yeah.
and so it's a real experience for people.
No, it
The
really is,
hats.
and that's a good story you just shared. So what is the philosophy behind the hats? Because I tell you, you guys are pretty deep when it comes to hat making, and I'll talk about why in just a little bit. But what's the philosophy behind it? Because it seems like you have such a collection. So go
Yeah.
ahead. Yeah, yeah,
I think if I was to name the real core value of what Goran stands for, it's going to be expression. It's going to be expression and identity. And I think any of our hats really can, I mean, look, I'll show you something that's Uh, for example,
yeah,
going from way back into our classic style. I mean, this is like more of a Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory hat, but it's a statement. Anyone walking around in this, you're going to be saying something to the crowd, right?
Yeah.
Even this, even our truckers, which I can show you a lot of those too, but it's really about personal expression, and people can say they wear our trucker hats for a variety of reasons. I mean, it could be what the animal is representing for themselves. It could be what the word is representing. It could be what the materials, and the style and the fashion is doing for them. And I think the bottom line is that we have something for everybody, and that means like even politically. Um, right or left, center, it doesn't matter. Our brand is really something beyond, which is, I think, so stupendous, is that it doesn't matter who you are. You can find something that resonates with you from our brand. And so I'm going to say that it's all about your personal identity, your personal expression, and what you want to say to the world.
Yeah. Yeah. And no, I mean, I think that's wonderful what you just said. Because hats can help you do that. I've always liked hats, and I just feel like there's something very special about them. And the way that you described what you just said, it just makes total sense. You can think of, movies or even advertisements where it just wouldn't be the same without that hat. Like in the movie 3 Days of the Condor with Robert Redford, and
Yeah.
Max von Sydow. It was in the 70s. I was like 7 years old when I first saw it.
Yep.
But it's a classic. And Max von Sydow has a hat on,
Hmm.
usually.
Well, it's like
And
Indiana Jones is basically, I can't tell you how many
yeah,
people walked in the store and it didn't matter what hat you put on, you
yeah,
look like Indiana Jones, right? And which is
yeah,
funny
yeah,
to us, but it's because it's iconic. And same
yeah,
thing for Willy Wonka, same thing for what we created for Breaking Bad, which is, Bryan Cranston's pork pie hat that was the danger. And that
yeah,
was
yeah.
that was really exciting time for us to, I think it was around 2012, 2011, 2012, and we created the hat for Breaking Bad, and we had lines out the door trying to get the Heisenberg, and it's because it's seen and it's a statement, and people love it.
And it wouldn't be the same without it. Like what I was saying about that scene with Max von Sydow, it wouldn't have the same impact
It wouldn't.
without that hat that he was wearing. And so, there's something very special about each hat, and what you can really get out of it. So it's a big thing.
That's a true identity. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's creating an identity.
So I did ask you about philosophy, right?
Yeah, and I think also for us, like craftsmanship and quality is extremely important. We can transform anybody through a hat, but it's also very rare to find good craftsmanship in addition to a really good statement. So I know we pride ourselves on the quality of our truckers to our fedoras and back. So
So the philosophy, if I'm reading it right, is uh, meet the personality
meet the
with,
personality.
with the hat that you're making, and uh, yeah, that
I
makes
think
sense.
that fits. I think that
Yeah,
fits. It's like create
yeah,
your personality, transform into your personality. You can always hear people talking about hat people. We're a very special kind of people, that take the risk to wear a hat
hmm,
to 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 show the world who you are the medium of fashion, which is very interesting.
very interesting. So range, diversity of hats. You
Yes.
guys got it. You guys got it. And I was talking about depth earlier. That you guys are deep. And what I mean by that, I mean, I'm looking at the wall right now. I'm looking at the hats you've displayed or some of the ones you've shown. Plus the images I found on Google. It seems to me that you take what's timeless, what's classic, like classical music is timeless.
Yeah.
10 years from now, I could listen to Vivaldi and it would have the same impact on me that it has today. It is timeless. You look at the mountains by Boulder. We were talking about Boulder. They're timeless. They look that way 200 years ago. And it's the same mountain. They're looking like that. It's like timeless.
Yeah.
So you've taken that timeless aspect of the hat, and it seems to me that the old wasn't discarded, but rather you helped it modify, maybe if need be. Yeah, you
This is
helped
a
it.
very perfect example, I think, of what
Yeah,
you're trying to say in
yeah.
and this is our Dean the Butcher, was a classic shape. And what we do is we often modernize something classic and timeless to fit the period of time in which we are
That's what
in
I was
right
trying to
now.
say. Yeah,
And so,
yeah. That's
making this
yeah,
camouflage
yeah, yeah,
design
yeah,
was extremely that was like new. That was just a new concept. Again,
yeah.
these are snaps, you could turn it down or up, but it's basically what you're saying. It's like taking classic hat culture and modernizing it into today, so people can still wear
Yeah,
it.
if need be. I mean, you do it very methodically. You do it very methodically. You do it without shocking somebody. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
like,
like,
something like
yeah,
this,
yeah,
still like,
yeah,
classic and timeless. It's just the material, it's the look of it now. It's how are you going to do with the wideness of the brim? We've created trends of the future from timeless hats of the past. And that's, I think what Gorin is really famous for, and also making them affordable. That's another thing. Like, you
yeah,
get a
yeah.
handmade hat and be like, up 300 and up, depending on the fabric. Gorin really makes it what's the word? When everyone can can get it, accessible.
Well,
It makes it
yeah, accessible.
accessible.
Yeah,
Yes.
accessible. Yeah, yeah. No, it's fabulous. It's just fabulous. Uh, I just love and I'm amazed by the way you tailor all that. Um, so the next question, the range, the range. You've got such a variety of hats, such a
Yes.
diversity of hats, and kind of adding to what I was saying earlier a little bit. Like what I love about what you guys are doing, because I used to be a school teacher, and I taught in rural areas part of my career.
I was
And,
also a school teacher.
yeah, and I loved it. I
Yeah.
love the people. I love the farmers. I love agriculture. The cows, all of that. I loved it. And sometimes I think in today's world, they get a bad rap for being like, closed minded or rednecks or, whatever. You've taken these trucker hats and so on and made such sophistication out of it, which to me is really beautiful. It's so, yeah, yeah, exactly. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So talk about the range, the diversity of hats, because man, you guys got farm collection, you got trucker collection, which I think I'll let you explain what the difference is between those two. But you've got the bucket hats, you've got the flat caps. I mean, you name it, you've got it. The fedora hats. So yeah.
Yep. Here's some bucket hats that we've
Uh-huh.
created. Um, we have our fedoras. There's so
Oh, they're
many. I mean, there's different kinds of fedoras, there's different kinds of crowns. I mean, we could be here all day having this is a cattleman crown. And then of course we also have our straw hats. This is a boater, but we've created, Panamas, and again, just like wide brim. We have such a variety over the years. It's really quite incredible how many different hats we have created. So yes, we have,
yeah.
and I do have some flat caps somewhere in here to show you. Um, Maybe they're here. Mm, I can find them in a.
No, that's okay. That's
I'll
okay.
find them in a few minutes. But
Yeah,
yeah,
no, that's fine. That
yes, we have a whole variety, and I think some of our old school fans, they got a little, I would say, I don't want to say upset, maybe upset that, we pivoted and went really a lot more into truckers, but we do still have fedoras. We do still have fedoras on the website. We have flat caps on the website. It just, our focus really turned to these truckers. And I think that, like every brand, the reason we've been around since 1895 is because we were resilient. We pivot when we need to pivot. And this is why we're still here. But fashion is cyclical, right? Like it's going to come back around. We're going
yeah,
to have
yeah.
fedoras again. We're going to have what we create the trends. We decide. So it's good to let people know that, look, we're hat makers. We'll always make hats. So the old styles will come back around. They'll be remodernized, and people will be astonished again, and will return to a brand that they once loved. And hopefully, buy into the trucker craze as well, because that's really what our focus is on
I
now.
just think it's phenomenal. It's a sophisticated realm.
Yeah.
You guys have created a sophisticated industry out of that. It's just amazing. I just love it, and I think that it also is, it is inclusive because it also includes them, and they're people too. So that's wonderful. That
Yeah, I
yeah
mean, I do love the fact
yeah.
that our brand is, it doesn't matter your age, it doesn't matter your color, your political viewpoint. It
Mhm.
transcends conflict, it transcends war. It doesn't matter. And people are just wearing the hats. It all people. I mean, it's very wild to see the different range of people wearing hats.
So basically, the philosophy of the company, again, sticking with that a little bit, also is that it's just what works. You look at what works. You don't get sidetracked by all the side issues, but what is it that works?
And we
And
take risks. I think the
yeah,
company is just not
yeah,
afraid to take risks. They're not afraid to be silly. They're not afraid to, have double innuendos that maybe some people might find offensive.
yeah,
They're just out there being real, I would say.
being authentic. Yeah, yeah. Uh, so where are all of the Gorin Brothers stores locations? I don't think there's one near me. I know there are maybe stores that carry the brand.
Where are
Uh,
you?
I'm in north of Denver, Greeley.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, we only have two stores now. We only have Dallas, which I imagine probably won't survive beyond the lease. And then we have North Beach, which I think will stay because that's our flagship store, and that's in San Francisco. Um, along with our headquarters, which is there too. And then, of course, we have our website, which is brand new. We have a new website up to yesterday, just launched, and it looks really great. So check it out. And we have an app, um, and we have retailers all over the world. We have 14 international distributors, and we have majors in the USA like DTLR, which stands for Downtown Locker Room, Shoe Palace, Lids, Foot Locker, JD Sports. So we're all in those big stores, but we're also in plenty of boutiques as well.
I see. So there are stores that choose to carry your brand, and you make it available to them, and so
Mainly the
yeah,
truckers. I mean, that's the fedoras you have to really get from us, from the website.
and you just have to go online and get it there. Yeah. Okay. So I was just curious about that. So basically, I guess the other question I have for you uh, is, as well known as your brand is, and it is well known since 1895, right?
Yes.
So how many years is that?
It's like 130 years.
130 years. That's that's a long time.
Yeah,
Man,
it's very long time.
that's fabulous. That's just more than applause right there.
And it's a
So
family-owned business. It's
yeah,
still the
yeah,
the you
yeah.
know the big boss is Ben Gorin, who's the great grandson of Castle Gorin. There were brothers at one point, and they is what the term Gorin Bros came from, the sons, Ted and Alfred, and Ben's children are probably going to end up taking over the company at some point.
I see. Well, that's wonderful. Not every family member always wants to do that. So that's just amazing.
Yeah,
That
we'll see which
that
one does
that
it.
yeah. That's great. So given the fame of the brand, who are some of the well-known people that uh, use your hats? I know Lionel Messi, the soccer player, does, but who
Yeah, I
else?
mean, I
Yeah.
would say Leo Messi really put us in the map in South America. And the fabulous and amazing part of all that is that we've never endorsed anybody that wears our hat. So any famous person wearing our hat has chosen to do it on their own. So some of the famous people I would say like that people really could relate to are, that's funny because Ben Gorin is calling me right now,
Oh, okay.
but I'm not going to answer. Uh,
Okay.
basically we have let's Justin Bieber's worn our hats, Billie Eilish, what's her name? Lady Gaga, Leonardo DiCaprio, Idris Elba, uh, who else? I wrote some down because I knew I would forget. Neo, Jason Mraz, Adele. There's been so many people. Brian
Yeah.
Cranston, of course. Fashion people like Bella Hadid, Omar Sy. So we have so many people, and then of course like the soccer players like Messi and Mauro Icardi and Sergi Roberto. Those are all people that really put. I mean, the soccer players I have to give the most credit to because everybody loves the South American players and they really, really made our brand famous. And people in Mexico, in Guatemala, in Colombia, our brand is like Gucci there. It's such a trip. I went over to Colombia, Medellin, and in this rooftop brand launch. And I had like a bodyguard. I was like walking around and I would see Gorin like every 20 people. It was so crazy. And it's just different over there. And the brand is more of like a big luxury brand, which is extremely different than what it is in the United States. So wherever you go in the world, it is seen a little bit differently. And that's a very interesting coming from doing this all this time in the United States and then going to another country and seeing I don't know how I'm received as someone as part of the brand is just wild.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I'm gonna head towards wrapping up here.
Sure.
The plane is about to land, so fasten your seatbelts.
Oh, I'm
So
ready.
we're gonna, yeah.
I
So
hope
yeah,
air traffic control is good today.
yeah, for sure. No, the condition looks good.
Great.
Anyway, what I wanted to ask you, and I think you can answer this really well because you've had a lot of experience. So let's say there's a kid in high school, 11th grade, and he's watching this or she's watching this, and they are interested in doing what you did, or they're interested in going to the fashion industry somehow. So,
Yeah,
what would you advise to them as to how to get ready, how to prepare to go into that world of fashion?
sure. I think there's a variety of ways that you can get into the fashion field. I myself stumbled upon the fashion field because I didn't necessarily know I was going into it. I was like you, I was a teacher and I created something that everybody fell in love with, and then all of a sudden I had a brand. So it was, there are all different kinds of ways. I think of course, there's the college fashion route. You can, go to FIT or any of the fashion schools that will help you learn and get a real fashion degree and start that way. There is just going into the mall and getting a job at a mom and pop fashion store and starting to learn experience. When I started my own fashion brand, that's just what I did. I didn't know anything about fashion, so I joined a store and I started learning the back end of what it takes to be a part of a fashion brand. Um, I think it's big social media these days. I mean, it could be as simple as like you love wearing Gorin hats, so become a brand ambassador for us. Write into a DM of a brand that you love and say, "Hey, I'm really interested in being a brand ambassador." So you can use your social media platforms to start looking into different brands, putting these products on your head or, showing these products, reviewing these products, and, just getting yourself out there in the world of fashion. Um, it takes a lot of perseverance in fashion. It's not an overnight success for everybody. So it's just like putting your time, your energy, um, and then there's other things like you can do internships. You can go that route. There are, I'm sure, plenty of fashion brands and even starters that need help. Um, you know, what is your skill set in? Or do you want to go on the marketing route? Do you want to go on the design route? Do you want to go on the social media route? Do you want to go on the ops route? There's so many different ways to participate in the brand. There's so many different departments. So it's like pick out what you like and follow that, or start out with a variety of things and see where you end up. Like I was in all sorts of fashion, and I ended up in hats. Um, just getting these supplemental skills. Like there's so many things online. You could take any sort of course to understand a little bit more about fashion, reading. I mean, there's you have a plethora of things going on online to understand how brands develop, like Supreme. You know, like they start somewhere and they end up somewhere, and some make it, some don't. But I just think if you're into fashion, it's just like anything that you're into, you really have to dedicate time and focus and energy to growing and just continuing on that journey. And it not everyone will have like a big giant jump. It might be a step by step by step, and then you'll end up somewhere. So yeah, I mean, fashion is a huge world. Go to fashion week events. Go, go to any type of fashion event that's put out there, and go to a pop-up. Start doing things to get yourself inside of the communities. So
And if some kids are thinking like I did a lot of years in my life, and they may not, but they're thinking college. So, what would be the field of study? That would be like business. They could major in business, or
it
if
depends again, like if you're, obviously our designers went to school for design, so they are, I mean, not all of our designers went to school for design. Our main designer that does all the Friday drops did not go to school for design. He just happens to be a weird genius and he learned design over time. And so, yes, I mean, there are ways to, enter into your particular field. If you want to do marketing for fashion brand, then you would go to school and learn business and marketing. So it really depends on what angle you're trying to take and approach in the world of fashion. But
okay,
mine is mainly design school.
but the fashion end of it, just that, it would be like design. Uh,
Design, yeah, it would be design, like an art
design.
school,
Okay.
something with art, I would imagine, if you wanted to actually like create. I mean, in places to learn like millinery is very, very focused. So I would probably say in that regard, you would probably learn as an apprentice to a person that already knows how to do it, and that's where you'll get taught. So someone like our team in Austin, if anybody wanted to learn how to do it, most likely shadowing a milliner is going to be your best bet to learn how to make a hat, because that's probably
Mm.
very small in the field of design.
So, there is really no fashion major, but there is like, maybe graphic design or design.
There
Uh,
are fashion majors, sure. There are fashion
there are
majors. So
fashion
you
majors.
can, and then I know like some of the, let's see, I was gonna see one of the couple of, so FIT, uh, you could basically like there's degrees in fashion design, in textile design and merchandising, and also fashion business. And then there are schools like FIT, Parsons, and then Central St. Martin's. They're renowned, but a lot of universities have strong programs. And I had wanted to look that one up because I didn't have all the information on that.
No, that's fine. So there are schools that are specialized for it, kind of.
Yes, there's specialized
And,
fashion schools.
and
Yes.
okay, all right. So then, no, that's very helpful. Thank you. The last question I have is to be more, specific with the hats. If that same kid or a friend of his or hers is thinking about going into the hat business, your thoughts about that, your advice to them about that.
Sure. I think there are plenty of brands out there that sell hats. So we're not the only one. And I think it's as easy as starting by becoming a salesperson and getting acquainted with that particular brand. Um, or just being focused on the careers part of their website. So, every brand has a website, and at the bottom, most likely you'll find something that says careers, and you can see the different jobs that are available, and get your resumes together. And I think that's the best way is to try to get into a particular brand that you like, and in the field of hats. I mean, like I said, it's you. I don't think I know a single school for hats, so. Uh, you would just have to acquaint yourself with a specific brand that you like
Hmm.
and try to get involved, in
Yeah,
any way possible.
like you were saying, go maybe do an internship or get a job at a store part time or something like that. And
Yeah, just start off like
yeah.
slow. If you like I said, I loved when I was working in this mom and pop shop,
Mm.
which was called Evolution 102. That was when I lived in Ithaca, New York. We sold Goorin Cadets. It was like very small rack of Goorin, and I just fell in love with the brand automatically. And so I just knew in my mind at some point I was going to have something to do with this brand. And then years later, come then their stores opened up, and I began by applying. Even though it was like I probably was overqualified for the position I was in, I needed to start somewhere and work my way up, and it really didn't take long to get where to at least to get leveled up. But then the real time you put in, you show it's just not laziness, it's perseverance, it's working
Yeah, you
hard,
bet.
it's
Bet. Work
meeting
at it.
people, it's having the good personality, it's really
Yeah.
following through. So
Well, Nikki, God bless you. I've just been so amazed at what the brand does, what you all do to
thank you.
make it work. And I mean, it's just amazing. The collection is it's kind of like a museum almost. You want to look
Yeah.
at it, it's
No, my
just such
wall is like a museum.
such a work of art. Yeah, it's just fabulous. So thank you very much for
Thank you.
watching out for us with our heads, and thank you so much for those wonderful, wonderful hats. Keep up the good work, and thank you for your time, for your generosity of time for doing this. I know you're busy, and so God willing, we'll meet up someday and maybe do something else. So thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. Yeah, thank you for having us, and thanks for noticing the brand. And if anybody wants to reach me, I answer all the DMs for Gorn Bros main page. So have at
Oh,
it.
I was going to ask you that. So they go to the website or?
They can go right to Instagram, and I answer all of the DMs. So if they have any further questions or if they want to talk to me, they can reach out. So for me, it's like the joy of all of this is talking to the people, the culture. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Instagram, what is the address
it's
there?
the handle is Gorn Bros, GOORINBROS.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so
Appreciate it.
much. Have a great
Bye
one.
bye. Yeah, bye
Bye
bye.
bye.